Yeah, everyone, this is Thermite, and we are reading Actage, chapters 46 to 52, not 53. I want to read 53 as part of my weekly Shonen Jump thing, and, going forward, I'll have it in my weekly Shonen Jump reactions. But I've been saying for so long I want to catch up with Actage, and for the longest time, I didn't realize that chapter 46 was the one that the official release started off with, so when we got to chapter 45 in the scanlations, I was like, oh man, we just need one more before we catch up. No, we didn't. We need zero more before we're caught up. We are caught up to the official release. So let's do this. Starting off with 46 flashback. Araya is on the cover. For those of you who don't know, for you insane daredevils who watch these reactions without reading the manga, I don't know why you do this. You're insane. But um, right now we are in the middle of the big screen I guess stage arc. Could you call it that? I guess you would have to call it you'd have to name each arc after the production that K is in actually. So this one is what was the name of it? Railroad to the Stars. It's been a while since I read scene 45, but it's such a good arc. So basically, currently the cast is putting on the stage play. They are right in the middle of it, of the very first showing. Everyone has very recently learned that Mr. Iwao, the man who is putting on the performance, or the man who set it all up, is dying for real. And this entire time, Yanagi K, our main character, has been talking to him in private, learning about how it feels to be dying, how it feels to be on death's door, and she's been quietly using that to inform her performance. And now that the other cast members are learning about it, they're freaking out. She's been very quietly using what she knows, to reassure them. Because even though he's not there, she's able to embody him. She's able to make them realize, yeah, what he would want is to make this production go smoothly. I haven't been spoiled on anything apart from the fact that I think 2 weeks ago there was a a cover of Weekly Shonen Jump that had K on the cover, and it was K and the cast members all wearing their current outfits. So I have to assume the stage play is going to go on for this entire all the chapters that we're about to read, which is pretty nuts. To think that a Jump series would do something, it feels so insane to me, honestly. It's not that Jump series don't have long arcs, but generally I think about those arcs in terms of action series. Whereas with more subdued series, I tend to imagine them as being much shorter arcs. But I guess it's not the case. I guess there have been dramatic series in Jump that have had really long arcs. I just don't think of them very often. Death Note probably has a lot of really long arcs. It's just I think of them in short bursts of this happened, then this happened, then this happened. In the same way, you could easily take the previous arc in Actage, the movie arc, and split that into a bunch of tiny mini arcs as K met with different people and overcame various struggles. So, anyways, what am I doing? Let's jump right into this. I do like that we're reaching the very end of this, so we're seeing what everyone feels about K. From at the very start where she was incredibly subtle, she had that incredible skill that she has, the blessing and the curse of being able to embody things as if she really lived through them. And how that doesn't really translate to the stage, where you have to be grand and sweeping, where you have to be able to transmit those emotions immensely. So I really like how much she has changed and how everyone respects her at this point. Uh that's true. He has we've seen his entire backstory too, and I guess this is the culmination of it. The fact that he is also a very powerful method actor, and now he's able to see Kay and see oh yeah, in such a short time she's changed so much. This must be what he felt like. This is why he took her on in the first place. Yuji Wao's #1 is me. Okay, I'm very excited to see how this plays out. Because we've had a couple competing arcs. The big one before was the now thing where she was freaking out because she was so close to Mystery Wow, and that's been mostly resolved. Akira's thing is I think that's still ongoing. Everyone still kind of looks down on him to some extent. Araya's has mostly just been why are you even here? I understand you, but I don't think that you have what it takes to be on the stage. I don't think you have what it takes to be, alongside me in Mystery Wow's, big play. So I feel like everyone has to flip over by the end of this performance, because it's they've said repeatedly too, it's a multi-day thing. They have to keep on doing this day after day. But I imagine the very first night's going to be, the one we focus on, because it's been taking all this time. I guess they could wrap it up like relatively soon, and then the next couple of chapters could all be like the other nights, but I doubt that. I think it's all going to be the first night's the most important one, and then after that we see like, oh yeah, like after they hit that one initial hurdle, they've been just doing it over and over and over again. By the way, I've no matter, even though this has been going on for so long, I don't know if this is a real play or not. I assume not. Like in the same way that the movie they were shooting before was not real. But I have to admit, I'm super intrigued by it. Like the whole idea of it, I love that we were introduced to it as like, oh, by the way, this is a metaphor for death. Like we were introduced to it by the actors in terms of a thing they were putting on, and now that they're actually doing it on stage, we as the readers of the manga get to also experience the twists and turns of it as it happens. That's I love that. I love that Actage is able to like to adapt something that doesn't exist and then make you like feel for that thing, for that fiction along with the series itself. It's I really wish there were more series like this. I mean, if there are, please let me know, but it's very like I wouldn't say it's rare, but just like I'm not very familiar with such a thing. Yeah, that's true. Like it doesn't like the character does matter to some extent, but it's also the actor. Like there's a lot of characters in fiction or like especially in live action movies where you can absolutely like how do I put this? In the very recent adaptation of Battle Angel Alita, which is titled Alita Battle Angel, the main character Alita is incredible, and I think part of that is because like in the series itself, like in the manga that's based off of, Alita is just really really well written. She's the main character, obviously, but a big portion of that comes down to the actress and how she's able to flesh her out and how she's able to like viscerally make you feel for Alita, even through like the full body CG. It's incredible. Whereas Alita's love interest in the movie, like no spoilers or anything, but his actor is not very good, and the character himself is not great either. But like even in the manga, I feel like it was easier to like him. And it's not that the changes in the plot are what make him less likable. It's just I feel like the actor overplayed certain parts and didn't really make you like get into his headspace. He did things that were like, "Oh yeah, this is where I'm supposed to relate to him," but I didn't relate to him. I think it really does come down entirely to the acting between, Alita and her love interest in that in the movie. When someone is duped by a con artist, they can't possibly recognize that person's true nature. When people witness truly excellent acting, they don't even notice the actor's skill. Yeah. Oh man, I love that her siblings are here. Like that is incredible. Raya Miyojin's Giovanni is so natural, but we don't even recognize how good he is. Yeah, like acting to the level where you don't consider it to be acting. You're just like, oh yeah, that's the character. I think that's also honestly why I don't like the love interest character in Alita. Is because like when you see his performance, it's very clear he's acting. It's incredibly obvious that he's acting. Whereas Alita's performance, even though she is full CG, she has abnormally large eyes, and even though she is, in this outlandish situation for all intents and purposes, she makes you buy it. She makes you buy it instantaneously. That yes, this is who she is. Everything she does feels very natural, even when she does something that is not likable. That that you as a person, as a viewer, would be like, oh, that sucks. You don't think, oh, that actress is doing a bad job, or she was badly written. You just think, oh, this girl is, being misled, or this girl is so immature. You jump right past the acting and just to the character. Okay. And again, oh, that's actually perfect. Because he comes out and you don't think, why is he doing that? You just think, what happens to Giovanni? Oh man, that's awesome. Like I do appreciate that we do repeatedly in this arc, we get glimpses of just the stage itself as well as what they're performing, because it really sells the point that yes, he is just on a stage and nothing is there physically. He's just miming it out, but yet the audience instantly gets everything from the context. He manages to maintain perfect control over the character's emotional state over the axis of time, almost like a time traveler. This is also really cool too. Like it's a one-sided conversation. They don't even have like an announcer or something, filling in for the mom. You just hear him speaking. You have to just infer what she's saying. Yeah, that sudden change. God, that's incredible. His emotional state when he's with Campanella and when he's not is so dramatically different, it almost feels dangerous. Okay, the final scene begins. Like again, I love how this is all tied together. The fact that we are, engaged in the play as a play, but at the same time, we as the audience do not know how this play ends. Like they've mentioned various parts of the play before. I think they may have hinted that someone dies because like it is a train to the afterlife, but I don't think we know the actual distinct information behind it. If that makes any sense. Grief and happiness, such polished mastery of those contrasting emotions. Yeah, like I don't think that Kay is quite on this level yet because like she's been able to do a lot of great things. Like the audience has been loving her as Campanella, but I do think that like it's so clearly different. Like Arya is definitely more skilled, which I really do appreciate. Like I appreciate that in this series, even though the main character has an ability that makes her, supernaturally almost good at one specific thing. They never use that to say like, oh, she's better than skilled pros who've done this for years. It's more like she has this incredibly useful weapon and she just has to, get better at using it. Like she has that distinct advantage, but her natural lack of, having used it for a long time or lack of how to use it specifically makes her, it puts her on the same level as everyone else. I really appreciate that. Like it feels more realistic when it comes to like real world people who are gifted in a specific way. Like it's showing that she's like just because she's gifted doesn't mean that she doesn't have to fight or that she doesn't have to work hard. If anything, it has its own disadvantages, and she has problems that no one else has, and she has to work around those in her own way because she has no other template to work off of. Till now, his presence was a bit faint, but now suddenly his character stands out so much more. Yeah, because we saw the flashback, it automatically hooks you into him. Right, that's why it's not hard for me to portray loneliness, because I've experienced it. Playing a conversation with my mother was a bit harder. Mm. God, I do love that though. Like because he's such a good parallel to Kay, I really appreciate that we had that arc earlier on where he had to talk to Kay to understand specifically. Like he was doing basically what she does in that when she can't do something in real life, she has to go out and actually like experience it. In the same way, when we were introduced to him, it was because he went out into wilderness and like killed a bear. I love that so much. Like, there's so much about Act Dodge I really love, and I think I'm rambling on because I haven't been able to express it to anyone. It's such a good series. Aw, because I met you. Aw, I had no idea that my feelings for that person would shake up my heart so much. Right. By associating Campanella and Iwao, he's connected more deeply to the role. Yeah, it is an absolute parallel. It's just that, he doesn't have that, he doesn't have Kay's freakish, like, over connection to the role, which is both a good thing and a bad thing. It's a good thing in the sense that it makes him more normal. It's a bad thing only in the sense that, he can't use that to become, absolutely abnormally 100%, absurdly good. Like, even that's not true. He is an incredibly good actor. He is basically on the same level as Kay right now. It's like it's just that he's had to work harder for it. Sadness and happiness, they're all monsters I turn into my own flesh and blood. I will say I'm interested to see how I'll rank Actage once I get into like comparing it with WSJ. Like for those of you who don't know actually, I tend to rank them. I'm not going to actually rank all of these just because uh, I put that in when I thought I might, when I thought I was going to put this into Weekly Shonen Jump, like all of these chapters. But first of all, Weekly Shonen Jump is for weekly series. It'd be really weird to do a bunch of stuff that hadn't already come out in Weekly Shonen Jump, so I'm not going to. But like generally, I'll be like, okay, Black Clover is good. I'll put it here. We know, Food Wars was a bit worse than it. I'll put it under Black Clover. I'm curious to see where Actage will rank because, like, as a chunk of chapters, I know I'm going to love it. I've always loved Actage, but comparing it to other things is going to be interesting because the chapters are very emotional, but they're also like they don't tend to have a lot of shocking, big, explosive moments. Arcs tend to have those, but individual chapters tend to be very hit or miss on depending on like what content is in them. So like I'm curious to see how it's going to rank. We'll see. Oh, yeah, this is everything we've done. Giovanni Campanella has truly captured the hearts of the audience and loneliness and happiness. I do love how we've had a whole like chapter with with this in the background. The fact that Campanella has not spoken. At first, I thought, oh well, is it because Kay is supposed to be speaking? but they haven't said anything to that extent. So I have to assume she's meant to be silent in this moment. Yeah, I'm really, really glad that I got to meet a WoW and to work together with everyone. I I don't know what the climax of this is gonna be. Like, I assume it has to be just, the first night is a success, and then they share it with Mystery WoW. He might be dead at that point. But, like, that's gotta be it. Like, the climax has to be in the first night, right? Like, we've done so much in this first night that I feel like it has to. Oh, Giovanni. Ooh. The reason their performance make her eyes well with tears is that through their encounters on the Galactic Railroad, Giovanni must have realized by now that Campanella is dead. He knows the truth, but he looks away from it. That fragile human tendency resonates with the audience. God, that is such a powerful storytelling technique. The pit in your stomach where you know, like, oh, this person must know, but they're choosing not to. And it's that big question of, well, you know that they must know by this point, but they never said it out loud. Therefore, they could be faking it, or they could truly not know. It's that ambiguity. Ah. Now, without a sound, Campanella will leave Giovanni. Hmm. I feel like if they're going to do an ad lib, this would be the time to do it. They could do it perfectly, but I mean, a lot of Kay's biggest moments have come from ad libbing, or have come from, her body moving on its own. So let's see how this goes. Hmm. What on earth is happening? Which one are you? Oh, yeah. Of course, of course. I mean, even though he had never said it, even though he had always, hidden it, it's obvious. It had to have been obvious that he was wasting away, like, in hindsight, at the very least. Even if you didn't really know it at the time, like, once you learn about it, you'd be like, "Oh, yeah, I knew all along." Uh, how is he gonna react? Like, knowing this, that's the thing. Kay is also, because Kay knew that Mr. Wow was dying, I think she's been able to harden her heart. She can view it, like, purely as her living, his experiences. But, like, yeah, Arya just learned about it. So how is he going to deal with this? I'd never experienced a real goodbye. Okay, this is going to be it. I think he's supposed, like, the character is supposed to, not reach out. But I think they're going to have right now, like, a big breakdown of some kind. And that's going to be, like, the new ending that they're going to use for the next few nights. Yeah. That's the real danger. Like, it's the fact that they like, it's not just that she's completely absorbed the character of Campanella. It's the fact that she absorbed she absorbed Mystery Wow and is now, like, fusing him into the character. Like, oh, that is supremely worrying. But I guess, like, she's handled it very well now. So I assume this is going to be a very well-mannered, like, she's going to speak, and it's going to be something that both Campanella and Mystery Wow would possibly say to both Giovanni and to Aria at the same time. Hmm. Yeah. Okay, backstory time, or, like, more backstory. Hmm. Oof. Yikes. Hmm. Oh, yeah, I forgot that, he was a little out of touch. That's a bit worrying. Like, I'm so used to thinking about, Kay, that I kind of forgot that, yeah, Arya is pretty messed up as well. Hmm. Wait, what? What is this? Sutsumotose? What in the world? What a strange thing to bring up. Oh boy. I guess I'll keep that for now. Hmm. I had nowhere else to go, so I hung out a lot as rehearsal space, right. I like that we're finally tying it all together, though. Hmm. Yeah, I've seen these multiple times, but I don't know if they're really real or not. I guess they have to be. like the arcade cabinets where you do actually fight someone who is on the opposite end, so you don't get to like physically see them, or you can physically see them if you look over. Okay. Ah, you're deluded. You're not bored because you're clever. You're bored because you hold everything in disdain. Hmm. Okay. Other people seem like dolls to you, playing themselves like an actor plays a role. The whole world seems like a ridiculous farce to you, doesn't it? Hmm. Okay. This world is full of liars. Those who have resolved to be honest are called actors, and that's why you want to be an actor. Hmm. This is a really interesting sentiment. I can understand it though. Like it's that I think a lot of people have actually felt this in like in high school when they're teenagers. It's that feeling of like, yeah, everything is kind of fake because yeah, everything in the world is kind of fake to some extent. And it's very easy to become detached when you learn that. But like I guess he just has that to an extreme degree. Like most people feel it for a bit, they maybe lash out, maybe they go through a weird phase and then they kind of go back to normal. Whereas like it really hit him hard. Like he was really, really disassociated from like other human beings for a while. And so like yeah, I do appreciate the way they're phrasing this. Like his desire to get super into a role, to learn everything about it and to viciously consume it and then to be 100% honest with that role, with those experiences. Like that is a form of brutal honesty in a weird way. Okay. Okay. It doesn't seem like we're ending this flashback here, though, so let's just jump right forward. I mean, once we go weekly, I won't have the the option to jump forward. So let's enjoy it while I can. Honestly, I thought we were about to get like I read both these panels simultaneously, so at the moment I was like, oh boy, are we gonna get some real deep information about these two? But I guess not. Ah, drinking with a kid who's too young to drink is the worst. Oh, oh, is he finishing his drink? Oh no, it's the legendary one drink and you automatically get super drunk. Oh, like I kind of figured this was a flashback out of universe, or it was him thinking a little, but is it really like in that moment as he's freezing up on stage? Is he really thinking about all of this right now? Because this is the first bit of narration that kind of implies it. That plus seeing the Galactic Railroad in the sky. So why did he do it though? Like clearly, he was very mad that she tried to jump in and take the line. But why specifically? Is it just like was he just soaking it in? Because like he clearly is like it's halfway between being daydreaming and being very attentive. Oh, I'm going to be an actor, so you can just pay attention to me. In a weird way, I guess he has a crush on Mystery Wow. Like I hadn't considered it until right now, but I guess that's it then. And like this is definitely trying to lean into that. Now I feel like I could play a woman. I've got to apologize to Nena Hawanaki. God, these two are genuinely super cool together. But it was only the beginning. Arya, what are you gonna do? Like, now I feel like it's going to be very therapeutic if he goes off script. And like because of where we've put Kay right now, I really do appreciate that this arc hasn't been, about Kay's struggles for the most part. It was for the first, I'd say like third, like everything up until she started doing the private sessions with Mystery Wow. After that though, she's been sort of this like almost mentor figure. Like she's been growing. It's very clear, she's not the best or anything. I don't mean like she's a mentor in the sense that she's really, really good. I mean that in the sense of like she's inspired everyone else, but then the rest of the arc has been just about everyone else growing. And it hasn't really been about her struggle. It's been mostly just her, especially once we learned that she's been embodying a WoW this whole time. So I feel like all Arya has to do is say the honest truth, and Kay will immediately give the correct answer. Or, the answer that is closest to what Mr. WoW would say. Right? This is what happens to people who drown in acting. So, That's the main thing, though. Like, I assume what they're going to say is that yes, even if one person ends up drowning in acting, as long as they have a good cast around them, the rest of them can drag them out of it. The others can ad lib and get them out, and then you just have an incredible performance at the very end. Like that has been the common theme with most of Kay's big moments. Has been she freaks out, she gives off a really powerful performance, and then the everyone else around her scrambles to make it work. But so I really like that we're doing it in a sense where it's it's not her drowning this time. Oh, you're wrong. You're wrong. Aya will come back from this. Okay, we're very close to the end. I want to make sure I don't read chapter 53. Yeah, it's been 30 seconds. How come Yanagi's frozen too? This is the bad part. Like, with any other freezes, you'd just assume, like, oh yeah, okay, it's part of the play. But with this, especially since Kay hasn't really said anything, like, this is really bordering on the edge of believability from an audience member's perspective. Like, this is around when you'd start to think, like, oh, wait, are the actors messing up or something? This is such a good color page, though. I love that we do have colors for everyone now, because like I don't think Hackdodge is going to get an anime very soon. I don't want it to get an anime very soon, like because I feel like the anime is going to have to do like entire arcs at a time, and we don't really have enough. I mean, I guess we do, but just like I'd rather it get more popular before it gets its first anime. But I do like that we have all the colors at the very least, fan art and stuff. Okay, come on. Okay, what are you going to say to him? Oh, that's why. Right. Okay, I get it now. Yeah, it's because like Kay as Mr. Wow could not, in his situation, he would not have been able to push Arya away. So they're both frozen. But then who's gonna break the stalemate then? Right, it's had to become a producer who would save actors with my plays. I love that because that has been honestly the the driving force of this arc. Whereas usually it's how K grows and how K then influences everyone else. With this, it really has been how Mr. Wow changes everyone. Like even going over to to Akira, and how he's he's changed from being a pretty boy actor to an actor who can actually deliver like a solid hard role. Like everyone has grown as a result of this play. I do appreciate that it all goes back to her, but uh, she's still, she's so bitter about it. Like maybe she's the final person who has to change. Like Arya will change. Arya will, manage to get over this, and then that'll be what changes her minds. My old friends called me a traitor. They said my plays were too mainstream. They even said I'd thrown away everything I'd built. Oh, that's why. That's why he made the hard shift. Like it wasn't just because it was specifically because he wanted to train people. That's really cool. Um, like I'm thinking a lot right now of Kamen Rider Forza specifically, because like I don't want to get too deep into this, but Kamen Rider series in general tend to like launch people's careers. And Forza is interesting in the sense that it's like it's a high school show. There's a lot of like high school characters, and for that series specifically, instead of just getting a bunch of random extras, they chose to get like a special group of young extras and said like, all right, so for this entire series, you will be background characters. Like we will consistently have even if you never learn their names or anything, they will just be there in the background. And like same with the main cast. Like the main cast was mostly kids with very little experience. So the entire series is about like this group of actors maturing over time and getting better and better at acting. And like I can always appreciate something like that because the series also starts off very like I wouldn't say bad, but just very basic. And it was necessary in order to like give these kids the time they needed to to learn about their characters and learn how to act and just get better in general. I appreciate any series that does that in the background while still being a good series. Inaki, what do you think acting is? For a long time I'd forgotten, but they reminded me. You figured it out, haven't you? Because you're one of the ones who was saved by acting. Oh wow, actually, I don't think have we seen this image before? I assume that's her mom, right? I don't think we've ever like seen that specific image. Hmm. Or if we have, it must have been a long time ago because I don't remember it. Like I remember Kay's backstory and everything. I just don't remember this specific photo. Acting isn't possible until you've connected with someone, but a connection to someone who's gone can also serve your acting. Yes, even if we die, we're never alone. Ah, that's a really cool way of putting it. Like, because this entire arc has been, in some ways, about death. Like, to finally make that connection of acting is a connection between the dead and the living. Ah, that's actually incredible. No matter how much we love someone, we can't speak to our loved ones from the grave. It's up to the living to figure it out for themselves. Yes. Oh, all I love this because, everyone in the back is cheering for him. Like they've come around. They understand why he was so beloved by Mr. Wow. But at the same time, like he can't hear them. It's purely a spirit thing. Ah, yes, yes, yes. You can stand up, Arya. All right, you're waiting for me again. Oh my god, that is such a good smash cuts. Like it's it is Mr. Wow picking him up, which we didn't really get to see. Like if we go back to the previous chapter, we saw Mr. Wow, like holding him as they were staggering away from the bar or from the izakaya. But ah god. Then cutting not to the play itself, but to, him with all of his acting friends, all getting him back up. And then from there we're gonna cut back to the stage, right? Good. I have to go now. Oh man. Like, I don't know if this is like, does that work for the play? Because he did spend like 30 seconds on the ground, and then even longer, thinking things through before standing up. I feel very split about that because like as a member of the audience, I don't know if I would have been engaged for that long, or if I would have had the thought of something's wrong. Hmm. All I can do is leave them for you, and maybe one day my plays will save you. That's it. He's done. Ah, okay, one more chapter. I like okay, now that we've talked about it, I 100% believe like the big climax of this has to be Arisa finally forgiving him. Especially like now that he's officially dead. Like that the climax has to be that. And then everyone as a whole will learn like okay, opening night is over, but Mystery Wow passed away. And we have to, this was a crazy night, but we have to keep on going. And then we'll get like, a cut of the next couple nights as they refine their performances and keep on going and absorb, what they did really well in this night. That's got to be it, right? Okay, cutting back to the stage, or not the performances, the rehearsals. But yeah, and like I do appreciate again that we had Kay's her siblings in the crowd to make that initial connection of yeah, like kids are deeply affected by this, and they were teaching this specific play in school when Arya was in school, and even now, like even though he's a very disaffected child, when he's looking at this performance, back in the day, he still can't get over the this specific problem. Like he's that invested in the characters. Yeah, Campanello's dead, but Giovanni's still alive. You just can't let it end like that. Oh, that's why he was freaking out there. It wasn't okay. It wasn't that she was going to steal the line. It was that it was the end of the play itself. Like he was that emotional about the end of the play specifically. Okay, so that might be our big pre-climax. Like I assume Artisa is going to be, maybe not even the climax, but like, I guess like the falling action. So I guess this will be the climax, like him finally rewriting the part of the play that has always upset him. Oh boy. And that's how it ends? Whoa, okay, I can understand that. Okay. Okay, I see. So that was an ad lib. I have to go home. That's the big change. The change is that, usually it just ends ambiguously, but he's finally decided that no, in this specific, instance of the play, Giovanni will, make his statement that yeah, he is going to leave. Plus, we've been bringing up this, this specific thing of actors bearing their backs to the crowd. And now here in the final moment of this play, going against all solid convention, he does walk away. The last thing we see is his back as he leaves. Yeah, opening night was a mess. That's for sure. Jeez. But we still have tomorrow, and the next day, and the next day, we have more to come. Yeah, that's the thing with a play. It's not like a movie where you do it once. You gotta keep on doing it. Oh my god. She was so, like, sucked into the moment. Like, she was acting so hard that she did not realize that there were people there. I've heard about this, by the way. Like, that when you're on the stage, like, specifically because the spotlights are all on you, and the audience tends to be, like, very contrasted in darkness. Like, because of that, it's very easy to just, get swept up, to not notice them. And at the very end, once the lighting changes, then it's like, oh wow, okay, there's a lot of people here. Yeah, they all grew so much. Yeah, right, you old goat. You're the one who made off with the grand prize. That's why our parting words don't have to be goodbye. Thank you. That is a that is a gorgeous cut. Like they're thanking the audience while at the same time, because of the way this is laid out, they are thanking the dead Mr. Wow. Even there, like no one ran up and told them about it, but she specifically saw it on her phone. It'll cause commotion for a while, the death of one of Japan's most prominent producers and the birth of a new star. Also, oh, God, this is such a good ending shot for Kay. She's so dorky looking. I love it. Like after chapters and chapters and chapters of her as Campanella, as her being so beautifully composed, it is really nice to see OG Kay again. Nice, scared, out of her mind, sweaty Kay. It's been a while. Okay, and now we are almost caught up with Act Dodge. We are just going to have to jump into Shonen Jump for the rest of it. So, oh boy, what do I want to say? Act Dodge is genuinely an incredible series. I wouldn't say it's my favorite series in Jump by any stretch of the imagination, but it is really good. I'm really glad that it's got an official release. I've really wish they could fill this in. Like, as of right now, you can like finally read the whole thing. Not officially, but like you can read up to chapter 6, jump over to Fallen Angels for 7 to 46, 46, or no, I think 7 to 44 or so. And I think 45 and 46 were done by just another group who wanted to fill in those final chapters. Those two aren't the greatest, but like, for a readable chapter, it is what it is. You can't be too picky. And then after that, you can jump right here, read all the way to the top. You can also go to Manga Plus by Shueisha to do the same thing. Man, overall, great arc. It has been it's been so gripping, and I really do appreciate that. Like, it's the kind of series where things have to be planned out from the very start. Like, there's no way that the story of the Galactic Railroad was not thought up from the start, and each of the actors' own individual arcs during this final, the first nights were not like all thought up. But yet, it always feels so fresh and interesting, and like, it's something I appreciate from any series that is very character based, where you don't have the easy way out. You can't just have something explode. You can't just introduce a new like big villain to drum up interests. Like, it's a risky thing to do in Jump because it means that you have to commit to each and every arc. And if that one arc is not doing very well, you just have to keep on doing it. You just have to do it better, but you still have to stick to that arc. You can't just suddenly jump away and do something else. I will always root for Act Dodge because it's a great series. I can only assume it's going to get better and better, and I appreciate it so much. It's so different from anything else in the magazine, but yet it feels so very Jump-like. And Yanagi K is honestly one of my favorite main characters in Jump right now. That's a big thing to say, but it's true. Like, she threads the line between being, a overpowered main character while at the same time being a very a very human character, a very relatable one, a girl with a mental illness. It's I have nothing but good things to say about Act Dodge. So that was Act Dodge. Thank you guys so very much for watching. I will put out Weekly Show and Jump with chapter 53 right after this. So if you don't want to wait, go to my channel, find that, use the timestamp to jump right to the Act Dodge thing, and you can watch my reaction to that release right now. Anyways, thank you so much. Bye for now. Nya nya.